First of all, I just want to apologise for the delay in publishing my book reviews. I have been having the most crazy hectic time, but I've sorted out some books that I think will be wonderful gifts for people, or just a little treat for yourself if you're thinking of looking for something as a gift. Now I'm going to start with this one, which is a new publication by Search Press in 2024. It's Pen and Ink Drawing Techniques, Steps, Subjects and Prompts by David Morales H. And it's a paperback or softback, and it's got 144 pages. Now David's work is highly detailed. He creates all sorts of effects using black ink on the white paper, and he's going to show you how to get started and how to improve. Now we start with the contents, and then we've got introduction, meet David, supplies, techniques, getting ready for action, and let's draw. Now I love pen and ink, as you know. This is one of those books I would have loved to have had when I was young. There's so much detail in these drawings, but the actual techniques are all quite easy. It's just how you use them and knowing how to hold your pen and what type of ink to use, what type of pen, the thickness of the pen. Now David's work is very detailed, but you can start off with a simple picture. You don't start off with the most complicated design. Now we have a little gallery there of some of David's work, and then we move on to the supplies. Now you don't need much to start with. It's a good idea to have a pencil for your initial sketch when you're new to drawing, although lots of people do start just with ink. So we've got here some paper clips, something to hold your pens in. We've got a eraser and a sketchbook and some different types of pen and ink. But you don't even have to have bottles of ink. You can start just with your pens. Now we first of all talk about the different types of pens that you can use and the effects you get, the different types of ink, brushes, paper, other tools, and then we move on to the techniques. Now this is a wonderful practical guide. We start with how to hold your pen, being comfortable, different types of line. Now I haven't seen this in a lot of books, the amount of detail that's in here. There's so much information. Now we have outlines, straight lines, solid lines, dashed lines, hatching and dotted lines. Other things to think about. So these considerations, these are all important extra little bits of information for you. Then we move on to curved lines and hatching. Now hatching is a lot of fun, and there's several different ways to carry out your hatching, and you've got here using the density, the direction and the pressure. And then we have more on cross hatching, contour hatching, stippling and cross hatching with stippling. And then we move on to tick hatching. Now I'm sure if you're new to pen and ink you won't have heard some of these words. And here we have waiting lines plus contour hatching, woven hatching, scribbling, varying pressure, and cross hatching and scribbling. And then we have understanding values. We've got textures, wonderful section on textures. We've got common mistakes, and we don't have a lot on colour because it's primarily a book about using black ink on white paper, but we have a couple of pages on adding colour. And so that's a little step-by-step project there. Then we move on to getting ready for action. So start off with keeping it simple, and then we have an exercise to copy the pictures there, and the same here. And then we look at proportions, transfer into paper with a pencil, and we have composition. Lovely thick pages in here, very nice clean white pages so it's very easy to see the details. And then we have perspective, 2 and 3 points, and then we look at the world around us. So it's always good just to sit at home or outside and just look at the things you can see. So there's various different ideas. Now it says let's draw. Now this is where the book is different to a lot of other books, because we're going to start with some timed exercises. So we've got 15-minute drawings, 30 minutes, 60-minute and 120-minute. And then we have the exercises listed, and it tells you the time, and here what we can see, observations and photo reference. So it's telling you if you may want to capture the moment with the photo. So if the situation or the lighting is going to change, then a photo is a really good helpful companion. And then we have some 15-minute exercises. All things, well, a lot of the things you'll find at home around you. Then we move on to some 30-minute exercises and some 60-minute exercises. So quite detailed there. And then we have the 120-minute exercises. So that's something you're going to have to actually plan to sit down and do your 120-minute exercise. But of course, you don't have to do it all in one go. You can take your time and stop and start and have a break. Then we have some templates. A variety of subjects. I think we skipped a page. And some prompts there for you, and the index. So you can see it is quite a lovely book. It's not too big, there's a lot of information, and especially on the creating the lines and the hatchings, how to use things in your work. I think this is a brilliant book for anyone who is new to pen and ink, someone who's thinking about using pen and ink. I would definitely recommend this as the first book, the go-to book. And it's good for people who've been drawing with pen and ink for a little while as well, because there's things in there that you will only learn over time. And it's really great when you have an artist who shares all their information with you. They're sharing everything they've learned over time and helping you, because there are things that you may never discover for many years. So I think this is a brilliant little book. I absolutely love pen and ink. And don't be put off because it's in black and white, because you don't actually have to use a black and white pen. Once you've been drawing, you've learnt the techniques, you could use colour pen. It's entirely up to you. A very versatile book full of lovely ideas and lovely information.